What's up, guys? Welcome to Javelins for Hire, Nerds Gone Rogue's Anthem podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deerigan. Alongside me, as always, is the wise Wisconsinite, Jesse Douglas.
How's it going?
Jesse took a really long nap today, and I'm really jealous because I'm extremely tired. I'm not gonna lie. We're recording later than usual, this show at least. Although we do have another one to do when Ed gets home, so. Man.
Kind of slept through an alarm.
Nah, it's fine. That just means you have more energy to podcast tonight. Something I do not have. So, tonight it's probably going to be a little bit of a shorter podcast. So we're going to talk about the in-game details more in-depth. I know we talked a little bit about it last week, but they released a few more tidbits about the in-game for Anthem. So I know a lot of people are really interested in what's in store for the in-game. Because that's been the big question, and with the division private beta coming out this week, they actually allow players who play long enough to be thrown into some in-game missions. There's 3 in-game missions, and you can test out the different specializations, and it's actually pretty interesting stuff. I watched some stuff today while I was editing, and let me tell you, that division in-game, it's going to be interesting. To see. So but you can check out Dark Zone Junkies for that talk. So we actually had some pretty interesting conversations today. Not gonna lie, we had a little bit of fun at Ed's expense from our Nintendo voice chat. Wow, I was listening to that podcast tonight while I was doing stuff. Nintendo PAL Block discussion. We had some fun. At Ed's expense, but it's okay. It was all out of love. So, but anyways, this is from GameSpot from February 8th, which was as of this recording, one day ago. Anthem's update roadmap outlined, plus BioWare shares in-game details. So, BioWare has released a new video for Anthem, which finally delves into the previously secretive details about how the in-game works. As you may expect, your freelancer will be able to delve into extra hard challenges to continue scoring better and better loot. You can watch the video below, but to start, 3 extra difficulty modes will be unlocked once you reach pilot level 30, the game's level cap. Those are called Grandmaster 1, Grandmaster 2, and Grandmaster 3. The higher you set your difficulty, the better chances you'll have to score rare gear and cosmetic items. As far as what you'll be doing with those extra difficulty modes, the in-game is composed of a few new objective types: challenge, contract, and strongholds. Contracts are specialized missions that you take on by talking to NPCs, and they improve your faction rep to unlock new blueprints. Legendary contracts are larger, multi-part missions with bigger rewards. Challenges will reward you with coins and crafting materials, while strongholds are team-required missions with some of the biggest rewards. The video also teases that you can do free play. The video also teases that you can do free play in the end game. You'll also find cataclysms, which are time-limited world events. Finally, the overview promises other features like the guilds and social hubs, along with, quote, massive world-changing events. Alongside this, BioWare shared a content roadmap in the form of a calendar of events. It lists the first act, titled Echo of Reality, launching in March. It's rather vague, but you can see these images embedded in the link above, which we will talk about in a minute. EA is putting big hopes on Anthem to move 6 million copies in the first month and a half, following what it admits was a difficult quarter. Microsoft is also partnering with EA to offer Anthem Xbox One bundle. So, well, the first kind of big content drop seems to be launching in March.
That's nice.
Kind of what you would expect from a loot shooter. End-game stuff, you are repeating missions. And on harder difficulties, you get bigger and better loot. So kind of what you'd expect. Strongholds seem to be the major draw to that in terms of team-based mission stuff. The contracts kind of seem to be more of a Destiny style bounty system almost, where you go to an NPC and collect a contract and go do that to collect your reward. That kind of seems what that is. I'm just trying to draw parallels for people who are, into loot shooters. So that's that's kind of where we're at here. What do you think about this end game, Jesse? What do you?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good. I don't know. Did you end up playing that Stronghold on the demo at all?
I did not.
No. Okay, I did, and it was like I felt like it was a little bit more challenging than the regular missions, but it, like, ultimately it was like just like a really good version, like, a really good alternate to like the actual story missions. And it felt like I don't know, it seemed like it was a little bit longer of a mission, like it lasted a little bit longer than a regular mission, but it may have just been me, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I enjoyed doing that Stronghold, because I think I ended up doing it like two or three times, because I had finished all the regular story missions, so there really wasn't much more to do. So I just basically kept on redoing that with different characters, I believe.
Yeah.
So I.
What was it?
Yeah,
what was it like?
I enjoyed it.
What was it like? Was it just like was it kind of like a Destiny strike where you're fighting through this mission with a big boss at the end?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that's basically what it was. I think that was the one where like there is a whole bunch of turrets that you had to take out, I think, on the way there or something like that. I may be mixing it up with other stuff, but I think it was like you were on the way to like progressing. There was these turrets everywhere that you had to try to take a whole bunch of those out or something like that, and then defeat enemies, and then you eventually got to an area where I think you went against a boss then eventually, if I remember correctly. So it was kind of, I believe it was like a strike, like a Destiny strike. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I expected from the Strongholds, was a more challenging, longer mission with a big boss at the end, and maybe some team-based, not really puzzles, but team-based activities that you needed to complete to move forward. So,
I'm pretty sure that that's what it ended up being. It's kind of hard now to remember in exact detail, because I played so much of like all the different little missions and things.
Yeah. So I mean, this the thing about the end game for me right now is like, okay, we're gonna go do strongholds to level up or whatever, but like in Destiny, it was easy to point at like, okay, if I'm going to do the in-game content, I'm aiming to get my light level higher to go do the raid, I mean, I had a pretty consistent raid team for a long time, but that's kind of gone now. But that was kind of like the thing in Destiny, was like, okay, I'm going to go level up so I can go do this raid to get the raid gear, so we can complete the raid and kind of like get the raid down to a science and collect better gear, so when the heroic version of the raid comes out, we can go do the harder version of the raid with these cool weapons that have perks on them specifically to help us in a harder version of the raid, right? So that's my thing right now with Anthem, is like, what's that end game goal? Like, why am I doing these end game activities? I mean, the strongholds are cool, but to me, that if they're going to be like Destiny strikes, what's going to be Anthem's version of a raid? Are those coming? And that kind of transitions into the content drops here for Act 1, which is what they're calling it. Launches obviously on February 22nd or the 15th if you have EA or Origin access. Update 1 is an evolving world, taking in feedback and updating the game as players keep giving them feedback. Stronger Together is Update 2, which I'm assuming is, dropping harder activities into the world to team up. And then, to me, the Cataclysm, which is the big world event, I feel like that might be what we're doing the end game stuff for.
Yeah.
I feel like that update is like going to be, maybe it's not a Destiny style raid, but it's going to be some kind of big boss that you go in, and maybe multiple teams of Javelins are going in to like try to take down this boss for a legendary or epic piece of gear.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was wondering if they're going to maybe make it where you can be like a team of 8 or whatever.
Yeah, even if you go in with a team of 4 and like they instance a lot of people, what is it, like 24 people into the world at the same time if you're doing free play, like if you get 6 teams of 4 out there trying to take down this one like giant world boss, that'd be awesome. That'd be really cool to see, like, oh my gosh, look at all these javelins flying around taking down this huge boss.
Yeah,
that would be really cool.
Yeah, especially if, like, let's say it was like some kind of like big flying thing or something that could move around throughout the entire like world area, like kind of almost like the game Evolved, where you had to track it down and like hunt it and take it out. Yeah,
it'd
be kind of cool.
Or like something similar, like what Monster Hunter does when you're like tracking the monster through the world, and then maybe there's different stages of the boss where, like, okay, stage 1, you fight him out in the open world, and then after like a third of his health goes away, he runs into like his hideout or cavern or whatever, and then you make your way through the cavern and track him that way, right? And then the third or whatever stage of the boss fight, you have to, like, you can get his health down, but there's one specific like puzzle or something that you need to solve as a team that will kill the boss, right? Like maybe you have to work as a team to maybe move a boulder off of a ledge to fall on him, or something to that extent. I mean, that sounds like a dumb idea, but I think people get what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, I get the idea of like what you're saying is like some like it's like there's a possibility that this creature is just so massive that your regular attacks like can't necessarily finish it off, that there's gotta be like some kind of like massive like ion blaster or something that you've gotta like progress to an area to use to take them out, or something
maybe
like that.
Maybe you use like you have to solve a puzzle to like charge up some ion cannons or something, and then one of your teammates uses the ion cannons while maybe you have some storm javelins flying around to drop their supers on this guy while you're shooting him with ion cannons, and just create this massive like crater of an enemy. Now he's just like dead.
They could go full Iron Man and have it be a big thing that sits on your shoulder.
Yeah, like a war machine, like the War Machine ion, like the War Machine
Fighter.
Yeah. Oh man,
Street Fighter versus X-Men or whatever.
But I think these big world events are what the end game is going to be pushing you towards. I don't know for certain, but like I could really see that. And the Cataclysm is the first one that moves you into Act 2. And like what I think this game is going to do differently than something that like Destiny does is like when there's a world event, I feel like it's going to do what Fortnite does every season and like changes the map completely. Maybe there was maybe a volcano erupts out of the ground, and now this area of the map that used to be forest or whatever is now just molten lava and craters everywhere because a volcano exploded or something.
Yeah, I wonder if we're gonna see like some more like weather type stuff throughout the game.
Yeah,
like just because like I could see that being something that they just didn't really worry about having in the demo, like just because they want to just a basic. But I wonder if there's gonna be any like weather type things, like when you're in certain areas you could see like like storms and rain or stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that would be cool if they if they like made it as realistic as like the Forza games and stuff, like where it's
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, so there's an article on EA's website about expanding world and end game of Anthem. So I'm just going to read this little article real quick. Details of the end game. Leveling up. As you explore the world of Anthem and take on missions, your pilot level will increase, making new aspects of all your Javelins, like a secondary weapon slot, available to you. Once you reach pilot level 30, the max level, you can continue to upgrade your Javelins by adding higher level gear to your loadout. The higher the rarity, the better the gear, and the harder it is to get. Once you reach Anthem's end-game content, you can grab new gear in a variety of ways, all as challenging as they are rewarding. Check out the different options below. So obviously we talked about harder difficulties, contracts, and then once you move up in higher gear level, gear score, you get legendary contracts, and then there's going to be daily, weekly, and monthly challenges. Once you have a blueprint, you'll need crafting materials and coins to create the piece of gear you have your eye on. Completing regular challenges as you carry out your missions will reward you with the raw materials you need to turn those gear drawings into the real thing. There are daily, weekly, and monthly challenges to obtain these materials you need to craft, so that sounds pretty cool too. Like monthly challenges to keep you coming back until you reach them. Strongholds, which we talked about a little bit. Strongholds are some of the highest level fixed challenges in Anthem, and they'll put your entire squad to the test. These longer missions will have you fighting some of the deadliest enemies in the world, and plenty of them as you delve deep into unknown territory. Fight your way past every obstacle, and you'll be handsomely rewarded with some of the best loot in the game. Stay in constant communication with your team, and use everything you've learned as a freelancer to make it through to the end. Exploring the world. The new content, which drops. So it seems like the first year of content. I don't know if it's the first year or like just the first set. It's Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. The content is locked in Act 2 and 3 so far. So, I mean, we already talked about Act 1 a little bit. Cataclysms, which is what I was talking about, what we were talking about earlier. Whoa, that was weird. The world of Anthem is terrifying, dangerous, and unpredictable, and you will have to deal with its deadliest phenomena called cataclysms. These world events cause physical changes to the world, like extreme weather, deluges of hostile creatures, and changes to the landscape that will reveal new mysteries to solve. Take on these challenging events, and you will earn some mysterious rewards. Rewards we'll be able to tell you about very soon. So,
okay, so yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It's like some probably expect some bigger creatures to emerge and effect on the surroundings when you do encounter them and stuff like that. So,
yeah. So I mean, it sounds like the cataclysms and the strongholds are going to be the way you earn the best gear, which I don't mind because that sounds like every loot based game. You just go do the content over and over and whatever. So
yeah, well, and and just the whole idea of it's gonna be challenging you because of the fact that you've got to try to redo things at higher levels. Like, yeah, it will technically be the same mission, but it's gonna be, you're gonna be probably struggling as you go up in level,
Yeah.
or as you go up and how hard it is to do it. So it's definitely gonna give people like a challenge, and that's ultimately what I feel like most people really care about is just getting a challenge, because let's be honest, most loot-based shooters like this, they're pretty repetitive in most cases anyway. So like that's just a norm for that kind of game type. So like the idea of playing something over again but in a harder setting isn't really that big of a deal for people who like these kind of games anyways. So like I feel like it's gonna like that like the hardest level that you can play it at is probably gonna be pretty insane. Like you're gonna probably have to really grind and get your strength up to be able to play at that highest level, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's gonna probably make every mission feel like a raid.
Yeah, I mean, the way Destiny does it is like when like the Nightfall, for example, the Nightfall strike, which is arguably harder than a raid, if your team isn't on point. But they add challenges to the strike to make it harder. Plus, you have to be higher gear level. So, like, I think if you're going into like a normal stronghold, it's going to feel way different when you're doing a Grandmaster 3 stronghold, right? And in terms of even the content that's within it. Like, the enemies you fight will probably go from standard red bar to, like, yellow bar enemies. They'll be obviously more powerful, and maybe the end boss will have different types of minions coming at you,
Yeah,
so, so there's all kinds of things they can do to change it up. But
and make it feel different.
But Jesse, we have one question from Deshaun Malone. You guessed it.
Nice.
He's
nice.
If you want to write us in a question, you can go to javelinsforhire@gmail.com and write us a question, just like Deshaun Malone did. Actually, I think he commented on a video, but that's all right.
Yeah. Be like Deshaun.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, just comment.
He's an awesome listener. He listens to a lot of the shows, and he's always quick to get some questions in, which is a great thing.
I feel like he has no time on his hands. All he does is send us questions. That's all he does. So
that or he just is really good about finding time to interact with the show.
Yeah, I mean, I know he works the night shift a lot. So
okay.
He's I forget what he does. He's like, I think he's like, I don't know. I don't want to say what is.
He's in my world then.
Yeah. So he says, do you think EA is making a mistake by putting Anthem out now, especially with the success of Apex Legends and the upcoming Battlefield 5 Firestorm? Also, the Division 2 seems to be a winner. Do we have a Titanfall 2 situation on our hands? Loving the show. We'll have to squat up on Xbox.
Nice. Yeah, definitely has got to happen.
Yeah, Deshaun, I think we're friends already, but if not, you can add me at Rogue Spartan 713 and add Jesse F Phantom Maggot AX on Xbox. And also, while we're at it, if you're on Xbox, join our Xbox community. So
the
Arsenal X Xbox community. You can, if you're playing on PlayStation, you can also join the Nerds Gone Platinum community over there. They have one there as well. So
yeah, especially if Deshaun is a works third shift or whatever. So he's probably up around the same time that we're doing stuff. So
yeah.
If we're ever recording anything, even too, he's free to join us.
Yeah,
for playing.
We've been trying to get him on a show for like 6 months, and he just wants to listen, man. He just wants
nothing
to listen.
wrong with that.
No,
nothing wrong with that. I was the same way. Before I joined you guys, like we used to chat and everything, but I was just like, I don't know if I want to. Like, I'm just not really normally not that I'm not a people person, but I just like, I don't know. I just never was like good at like doing stuff like that, but then I got over it. So,
but here you are on like 4 shows now, 4 podcasts, and
it was good for me. I'm like, well, it's not gonna get any easier to do stuff like that if I don't, just try. So,
yeah. But what do you think? What do you think about putting Anthem out right now? Do you think it's gonna get caught up in like a Titanfall situation? Just because, like, I wouldn't wouldn't have particularly said that until Apex Legends came out, and that game is so polished and so good. And like on day one, it had 2 million players and no server issues really. I mean, they had some today, I think, a little bit, but like generally speaking, no server issues whatsoever on the first day. And Anthem kind of had some issues with the demo, and you know what I mean? Like, Apex Legends came out so polished and so clean, and it's so fun. And not that it's a loot shooter, but it does, like, all the characters have different abilities, and it's really fun, man. I played like 3 rounds before we started recording, and I played through the tutorial, and I was like, man, it feels like Titanfall and Black Ops mixed together a little bit, but I didn't really experiment with anything, but like playing some rounds and using the medic. I really like using the medics in games because I know I can heal people. I can't really kill people, but I can heal somebody. I'm real good with that healer mechanic. So,
me and Ed actually kind of brought this up too, and I not to spoil anything, but I think he plans on maybe having this conversation on AX.
Yeah.
I think AX, will this come out before AX?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so like I won't get too in detail just in case we do still talk about it on there, but I will answer. Like, okay, so Ed kind of brought this up as well, and like, you know, like it was a little bit different of a question I think that Ed was looking for. He just kind of was more about like, will people be upset or, you know, feel like maybe they're not spending enough time on getting that star. I think it was more to do with the Star Wars game, but I think it kind of brought this up. But I think the thing is Apex Legends is, you know, is what it is. Like, I think they did a really good job of kind of bringing that whole Overwatch aspect into it, which, you know, Overwatch is a massive game. Mm-hmm. And if you can like replicate that and bring it into another massive game type of the Battle Royale, I mean, like that's like mixing like the two biggest, like, you know, things going in gaming as far as, you know, that kind of shooter stuff goes. And I think they did a good job of doing that. But I think because Anthem is so different, like you know, like me and you are gonna obviously be playing Anthem. We're gonna be playing The Division. Like, all those games are so different in their own ways. Where like yes, The Division 2 and Anthem are both games that are gonna require a lot of time being put into them to progress and unlock better stuff and all that. But I feel like most people that if they're like us and they're into both of those, both of the games, they're gonna get both. They're gonna, you know, kind of, you know, separate their time and put time into both of them, and it's not really gonna be too big of a deal. I mean, I think you will have people that are going to be like, well, I'm more into the whole Division third person shooting stuff, so I'm going to get that and probably not going to get Anthem. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to have the people who are more into the Destiny style stuff. Like, I think what Anthem's going to do is it's going to just take a lot of the people who kind of got fed up with Destiny and just weren't interested enough to be pulled back in. Mm-hmm. Like, this is gonna become their new Destiny.
Yeah, and it'd be like, speaking from being a huge Destiny fan, like getting into that community, it feels like a lot of people are really disappointed with the annual pass stuff so far. Mm-hmm. Where, you know, they went from having these small content drops throughout the year, like Curse of Osiris and Warmind, to different seasons of things where they're dropping new content every week, and it kind of feels like, well, the season of the Forge just ended and people weren't really high on that, right? Like the Forge stuff was kind of disappointing, and I mean, I haven't played it yet. Like the Black Armory stuff, I haven't played any of it yet. I'm just now getting to the point where I can get to the forges and do stuff, which is fine. I'm playing that game pretty casually at this point these days.
Yeah.
I started my other 2 characters on Xbox finally, and I want to level them up first, and because I don't want to play as a Warlock anymore. I'm sorry. I had a Titan on Xbox, and I didn't like the way it looked, so I deleted it, and now I have a Titan that I really like how it looks now. So, but I think a lot of people were kind of disappointed with that, and they're looking to find something that's going to scratch that itch. And like you said, the Division is more for people who are into military. It's the Fortnite PUBG situation, pretty much, right? Where like, if you want something more fantastical and kind of, faster paced and about abilities and stuff, you're gonna go with Anthem, right? If you and if you're more into like the military style third person shooting, no jumping, kind of shoot behind cover, strategic route, you're gonna go with the Division, I feel. So.
Yeah, more tactical versus just like going in and blowing shit up.
Yeah. Now, I mean, for us, I'm going to play both because I like both those. I like Destiny a lot, so I'm hoping Anthem is kind of like going to be good. I'm still really hoping. I mean, I hope it's good. I pre-order the game, and I don't really pre-order digital games all that much anymore, especially with Game Pass and all that stuff. It's just kind of like, Crackdown is a good example of like, I'm interested, but I have Game Pass, so I preloaded it, and now it's just going to be unlocked when I get home on Friday. Which is, I actually can't wait to talk about that game next week, to be honest with you. But I mean, we'll also have Anthem access next weekend, so I mean, it's going to be a good weekend next weekend, I feel. I did. We played a little bit of the Division last night, and I played another mission tonight, and it's just, that game is very polished, and the abilities are cool, and they simplified a lot of things, and they made a lot of things, a lot of good quality of life changes that. I really hope. I really hope Anthem takes some notes from the Division and was like, okay, we could actually use this in our game, in terms of skills and abilities. And to be honest, cleaning up the menu system, I think the menu system is a little cumbersome. At least in the demo, it was. It's probably going to be different in the final game, but I think the Division does a lot of things well, in terms of just basic simplified layouts and getting you where you need to be faster, and it does a lot of things very clean, and I hope Anthem takes a lot of notes about that and actually implements it into their game. But I mean, I think it's kind of weird that that EA is putting out 3 kind of products at the same time. In that way, I feel like Anthem may struggle a little bit, but at the same time, it's like Apex Legends is for one thing. Battlefield people are Battlefield people. They're not really going to stray far. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's crossover for sure, but Battlefield people aren't going to stray far from Battlefield, and Anthem's going to be its own thing. So
and as far as like them releasing Ed had brought this up, I believe, to the or I think a lot of people did, like the fact that they're releasing the Apex Legends, which is a battle royale game, and then releasing soon the Battlefield battle royale game. This is what I said to Ed. Like, Apex Legends is their like kind of their Fortnite competitor. I think fun,
it's their
fun just for everyone battle royale game.
It's their game to try to battle Blackout, I feel.
Yeah. And then, well, kind of, but I feel like it's still more of supposed to be like more for like all ages type thing. Yeah. Whereas Battlefield one is going to be more of the Call of Duty or PUBG style, like really, really tactical,
Apex is
battle
definitely
royale
the Fortnite version of the first person thing, whereas Call of Duty, whereas Blackout is definitely the PUBG.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's like there's gonna be a lot of people who just aren't gonna be interested in Apex Legends, that are gonna be more like, who are more of like the PUBG style. Like, 'cause see that, like, that's what, like, in my opinion, that's what Battlefield needs to try to do, is they need to try to go after the PUBG play style players, because a lot of those PUBG players don't care about Fortnite, they don't care about Blackout, they don't care about Apex Legends, like that, because PUBG is still the best way to play the way that they want to play it. And like there's some other PC games that are very similar, but like especially PC players are very, very tactical players. Like they want to play like super hardcore, like shooters, and like Fortnite is not that, and like Apex Legends is not that. Like, I mean, you will have a lot of streamers, and there are a lot of streamers playing Apex Legends right now, and a lot of people are really loving that game. But I think if the Battlefield can kind of target more of the PUBG style players, then they should be able to do a pretty good job of getting people to play it.
I agree 100%. So I think Anthem's going to stand by itself. I think it's got, I mean, BioWare's a great team. They know what they're doing. I really think it's not really going to be affected by any of these things. I think the people who are excited for Anthem are going to get Anthem, and people who are excited for these other games are going to play the other games. It's just what you prefer. And I know a lot of people are on a wait and see thing for Anthem, which I think is going to have it struggle out on day one. But I think once people start playing Anthem and really getting into what the game is and getting into this end game, and the word of mouth is going to spread about this game, whether it's good or not, and then that's when people are going to jump on. I see this game having a little bit of a tail the first month, instead of all the sales coming on week one. So But
I think the hardcore people are going to get it right away, and then there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be wait and sees, or wait for people like us who are getting it early to give our impressions, and and just see, because I think a lot of people are afraid that there's not going to be enough content, just because we've kind of gotten accustomed to that. Because like with Destiny and stuff, like, and some of these games, these even like, as much as I loved it and didn't have an issue with it, but you got games like Sea of Thieves and stuff, or just games that have recently come out, and the content just wasn't enough for people, and so you see a lot of people get upset. So I think unfortunately we're in a time where people, they may not have a lot of money to spend on games, and so they don't want to just buy something right away without really doing their searching and checking out to make sure that it's going to be something that they really want. So, but I think once people see it in action, the full game, and once they know how, that, like, the game they said was supposed to take, like, what was it, 40 plus hours or something like that to beat the campaign. So I mean, once they, that's proven, and people see just how much content there is, like, I think a lot of people will start buying it, and it will just we'll probably see a spike in sales in the holiday, I'm sure, too, and stuff like that. So it's probably gonna be one of those that will just slowly be selling constantly throughout the year.
Well, they've got a roadmap, which is good. They've done. I think BioWare's done everything they can to get this game out in front of people and showing what they're going to do to support this game for the coming months and hopefully years. And we've got this roadmap for Act 1, and we'll see. But
yeah,
can't
really predict everything, but
no, that's the risk. I mean, that's the risk you take by starting a new IP. I mean, if they called this Mass Effect Anthem, like maybe it would be a different story. But this is their new IP, and this is the risk they're taking, and I really hope it pays off because the concept is cool. They've got the roadmap. The demo was, once people got in and they fixed the server issues, like a lot of people seemed pretty positive on it. I think people should manage their expectations, but also, I think this game is going to be a good time. So,
yeah.
But anyways, we're going to get out of here. I want to thank everybody for watching. Remember, we are giving away a copy of Anthem, so all you have to do is subscribe and send a screen cap of your subscription to javelinsforhire@gmail.com. We will announce the winner on next week's episode, and then we will give you your code on launch day. That's how this is gonna work. So you will be emailed a code on Friday morning, and if you work in the morning, you can download it that day and play it when you get home, whatever. But we will be giving it away on launch day. We will announce the winner next week. So what is it? Monday the 18th. Monday the 18th. We will announce the winner. And you will receive your code on Friday. So that's how it's going to work. So, yeah. Remember, you can subscribe, and share to the channel. We do break out the podcasts to have separate discussions for you guys in smaller bits and pieces. Or you can download us on your podcast service of choice. Or go to ngrradio.com for all of our content. If you like another one of our shows, you can go to ngrradio.com/subscribe to download it on your podcast service of choice there as well. And join our communities and all that good stuff. I think that's it. I want to thank everybody for watching, and until next week, we love you.
Bye.